SeatGeek. For all your ticketed events, from sporting to concert outings, SeatGeek has you covered. They even conveniently color-coded each ticket on their website from amazing to worst, so you can easily know which are the best deals. SeatGeek, the smart way to buy. Save $20 off your next ticket purchase with the promo code. Hey everybody, I'm your host, Grier. Got the awesome on the Big Cat. My cool cat, put your paws up. If you rock with the Big Cat today, we're here to do a Q&A session. I'm going to give you guys a chance to ask the Big Cat all Carolina Panthers questions, and some of these questions are really good. I got the answer for you, but first, one quick question before we get started. Do you love the Carolina Panthers like I love the Carolina Panthers? Yes? No? Maybe? Only when we're winning? Only when Cam Newton's playing? Do you look at the like if you don't get like I love the Carolina Panthers, give me that. Give me that. Dab. Give it a dab, man. Check this out, man. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Support the channel so you can keep getting this exclusive great content. Now, I want to start off before I answer the first question by finishing off with Rashad Golden. Rashad Golden, I got to tell you this right here, man. This goes back to speaking to what I've been saying all year long. The Carolina Panthers probably have to be one of the worst organizations when it comes to developing talent. And this is not coming from a bad place, so please don't take it from that. But again, you see where Rashad Golden, a 2-3 year kind of player, gone. Devin Funchess, gone. Kelvin Benjamin, gone. And so many more. And the verdict is still out on Will Grier. So, I don't know what it is when it comes to developing talent. We just struggle to do such thing. Listen, you can have the physical aspect of the game, but if you're not willing to get in there and coach technique and get the mindset right, then why draft the guy? Okay? So, it is a testament to your coaching staff when you could develop somebody that has the assets, the speed, the quickness, the strength, and you take them to the next level versus a coaching staff that just has to have already a person that's in place. Like Christian McCaffrey. He was already built in place, and he can make anybody look like a fucking genius. But if you really want to show off how smart you are as a coach or as a GM, find a way to develop somebody who has the assets but isn't quite there yet. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And it goes back to speaking that we have a poor organization when it comes to developing that. Now, first question on YouTube comes from Ace Mountain 414. He says, has Kyle Allen's performance this season given him enough for the Panthers to even consider him as a permanent starter? Well, yeah, I think so, man. He is a viable option to be the Carolina Panthers starting future quarterback. Right now, he's a really good backup. And the reason why I say he has done enough, listen, he had went up to Green Bay in the cold with that nostalgia, with that element, and came down to 1 yard line. He had a big boy drive to where he took us all the way down the field to get us in position. Against New Orleans, he took a 17-play drive, got us into the end zone. You're starting to see him settle down. You're starting to see him make the plays and not try to be a hero. We don't need a hero. We don't need a Superman. We don't need a Batman or whoever the hell you want to call yourself. We need somebody that can execute, take what's given, and play within their skill set. And he has shown that. Now, he's still a little raw. He's young, and he's not doing everything perfect. But there has been times where you really scratch your head and be like, wow, how far can we go with this guy? But I'm optimistic because what I just said 2 seconds ago, when it comes to poor development of young talent, really, how far can we go with Kyle Allen if he's not being developed right? Or if he's not going to get developed right? So I'm 50-50 on that. But to answer your question, the potential is definitely there. This next question comes from Instagram. Shout out to 784.kush. He says, if Derrick Brown is not available, who should the Panthers try to get in the draft? Thank you, man. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on this answer, so I'm here to give it to you now. Derrick Brown is a person I personally like, given the fact that we've been getting gashed all year long when it comes to run. Defensive line is number one priority. A lot of you guys are saying offensive line is number one priority. It's number two priority. It's still up there. The reason why I say it's number two, because Kyle Allen has won 4 or 5 straight games with that same offensive line that you see. So it can be done. I just think they need a more cohesiveness, injuries, stuff like that. So we do need 1 or 2 extra linemen. But what we do need immediately right now is that D-line followed by O-line. So if Derrick Brown's not available, a guy who's fast, strong, can stop the run and be a pass rusher, we haven't had that in a while, then we need to go with Raekwon Davis from Alabama, a Hellraiser. He also like Derrick Brown as well. And if he's not there, I say Rashard Lawrence from LSU. He's not quite as athletic as Derrick Brown or Davis, but he can hold his own, so I definitely like that move. Then in the second round, I would recommend us go to the offensive line. This offensive line class is deep. It's deep, y'all. I mean, they got Trey Adams. You got Andrew Thomas from Georgia. You got Prince Talawangalo for Auburn. You got Alex Leatherwood is the guy who I would recommend. But you also got Trey Smith from Tennessee. Now, Trey Smith from Tennessee had blood clots in his lung last year. He was able to overcome that, so kudos to that. So I don't know if we want to take him. He might be able to slide. He's a good player. He may slide because of that. But given our medical staff history and the flawless of the past, I don't know if we want a guy who has such a serious condition to be under our watch. So if you're asking me, if Brown is not there, let's go with Raekwon Davis. If we can't get Raekwon Davis, then let's take Rashard Lawrence. If he's not there, then we go to the offensive line. But don't reach, Hurney. Please do not reach. This offensive line is deep. You can get a quality offensive lineman in the second round. This next question is coming from Facebook. Roy Merritt asks, if Cam Newton holds out next year, do we pay him at the risk of losing some of our young talent? Christian McCaffrey is going to get his. Now, facts. If he does hold out, and let's say he says, I don't want to pay my last year of the deal until y'all restructure it and give me a long-term deal, do we try to pay him? That's a tough situation, man. I mean, you really have to. If I'm Tepper, this is not an easy fix. It's not an easy answer, but you have to really do your investigation. Okay, literally, I'll say Cam Newton has about 2 to 3 years left, and that's not being disrespectful. That's given his health issues. That's given his ability to produce. All that considered in mind. So, do we if he holds out, do we pay him at risk of losing some of our young talent? I say no. If it gets into a holdout or whatever, I say trade him, see what we can get out of it if he doesn't want to play on his last year. Now, I do honestly ask that Tepper, man, consider a valuable answer. I mean, give him a solid offer. You know what I mean? Give him another 2 or 3 years, and, $25, $35 million a piece. And if he doesn't want that, if he wants to go somewhere else, get a 5-year deal, 6-year deal, something like that, then let him go. But we have to keep our young assets on our team. You know what I mean? Like James Bradbury and even Shaq Thompson. We got to be able to retain these guys. Like I said, comes in developing a good organization, developing a good team. These are some of the things you got to do. No disrespect to Cam Newton, but my man, it's close to midnight for him when it comes to his career. I didn't say it was, but it's close to midnight. So you really got to say what's the risk versus the reward. And right now, I don't think the risk is worth the reward. So I'll take another year or two of losing just to know I got players that's going to develop in 2 or 3 years to be elite kind of caliber athletes. So, yeah, it sucks in the short term, but in the long term, you guys will say thank you. Next question comes from Twitter. Shout out to loyal Panthers fan. He says, my question is, will we ever give Cam a good enough offensive line to be a dominant quarterback? He has had decent weapons. Now he just needs a good enough offensive line. That is one thing that he has never had his whole career. Also, can we get a competent defensive coordinator? Like, come on now. Well, I'll tell you this right here, man. I think if we can put Cam with some offensive linemen around him, it's going to have to be a couple veterans, you know what I mean, in a free agency. Maybe try to get Trent Williams, maybe try to get whoever else is going to be through free agency, and get another young piece from offensive line in the draft, man. It's really not that simple, but, it's really not that hard to figure out how to deal with this, you know what I mean? But again, it's really all about how healthy will Cam be. Because I honestly believe if you do put Cam with these a veteran offensive line in the free agency, then draft a couple solid offensive line in the draft, how healthy is Cam? That's the number one variable, you know what I mean? You could put a good offensive lineman around there. If he's not going to produce, then it really doesn't mean much now, does it? So, do I think they will? I think they got enough heat this year, including last year. I think the fan base is starting to make a lot of noise, including myself, regarding the treatment of how they dealt with Cam. You know what I mean? As far as putting weapons around him, as far as dealing with his injury. So I think this year you're going to see a drastic change. I think you're going to see David Tepper really come down, from kind of taking the business approach of this team. And I think you're going to see him step into kind of like managing the team almost. So, yeah, man, whatever, put weapons around him. I think this year, if they're going to do it, this will be the year they'll do it. As far as your defensive coordinator, can we get a competent defensive coordinator? Well, I thought Ron Rivera was the head coach, defensive-minded coach, you know what I mean? And from last time I checked, he was taking over some of the defensive play calling. I think my man had just gotten some of his ways are a little outdated. Maybe bringing a younger coordinator, maybe bringing a younger coach, maybe the guy from 49ers, Robert Slater, the defensive coordinator over there, bring him in there, you know what I mean? So, again, like I said, and to be fair on all sides, Ron Rivera has not really had a whole bunch of, star-studded players on that defense other than Luke Kuechly, you know what I mean, and a couple other players. But when it comes to Vernon Butler, Kyle Love, come on, those guys are rotational players. KK, being out really hurt us this year. So I'm 50-50, man. I kind of feel like some of it's Ron scheming. Then the other is just the personnel. The personnel just ain't hitting no shit this year when it comes to that defensive side of the ball in certain areas, especially the defensive line. So when we ever find a defensive coordinator, I think there's going to be some drastic changes coming soon. I got a comment from Twitter. Shout out to Carolina Panthers 5-6. Not a question, but just a comment. 9 years with Cam Newton, and we haven't accomplished anything other than a Super Bowl loss. The same stuff Cam did, Jake Delhomme did, besides the MVP and records. But we can't keep playing the waiting game with Cam Newton. He's not consistent, just like Phillip Rivers is in San Diego. Well, listen, man. Hey, that's your opinion, and I respect your opinion. But I kind of halfway agree with you. You know what I mean? I mean, we can't keep playing the waiting game with Cam Newton. But literally, he had to be Superman. He has had to be that. I think a lot of people seen the talent, they seen his skill set, and they say he can carry the load. So if you want to be mad at anybody, don't be mad at Cam Newton per se. You know what I mean? Yeah, he hasn't necessarily, fixed that accuracy thing, or sometimes he's indecisive with his decisions and stuff like that. So be mad at him in that perspective. But as far as him not taking us to wins every game and all that shit, let's not play ourselves. Like I just said, man, it's a collective unit. He hasn't had that. I mean, a lot of this organization has been about politics. Can I be real with you? A lot of this shit is about politics. It's about selling seats, selling jerseys, selling merchandise and shit. You know what I mean? And winning has taken a back seat to that. So if you really want to show us that you're ready to win, go out there, get the pieces. Go out there, get the coaches. You got a run-first kind of quarterback. Get a coordinator in that is suitable to that. Bring in his coordinator like he was at Auburn. You know what I mean? They had spread out. Bring that in if you bought it. If you tell me that Lamar Jackson, a fucking running back who's playing quarterback, can run a pistol option and kill everybody with it with tight ends as his receivers, why can't you do the same thing for Cam? So let's not get too down on Cam far as what he hasn't done. Let's get down his organization for what they haven't put around him. Now, the Cam's not perfect, but let's keep it in perspective. Got another question from Twitter. Shout out to Brandon Gillett, a.k.a. Big Daddy BJ. He says, do you think Cam will be the MVP type player again? Well, can I be honest with you? BJ Big Daddy? I don't think Cam's going to be that MVP type kind of caliber quarterback again. But I'll tell you this. He will return to being a good, solid quarterback. All right. Like I said before, 2 or 3 years, 3 years if healthy, but 2 years guaranteed. Listen, man, I don't think people understand the level of energy, the level of expectations it takes to be an MVP. To be the most valuable player in this league, it takes so much out of you. On the field, off the field. And listen, when you haven't been healthy the last 2 out of the 3 years, it's hard to do that. I'm just be real with you. So if anything, you're going to see Cam come back to a suitable level. I'll be surprised if he comes out here and becomes an MVP again. But I'm not going to say he's going to come out here and stink up the joint either. I think he's going to come back to suitable effort, get us probably to a playoff, maybe take it to a second round, something like that. And then, you're going to start to see the decline after that. But he's motivated, he's healthy, he's going to be rested up, so he's going to be coming back ready on a mission. But, again, you can't ignore the health issues. I don't see him returning back to MVP form, but he will put up an admirable performance coming in next year. Next question comes from Twitter. Shout out to Mingo Parado. He says, I have a question, Big Cat. Do you think Cam Newton will get another shot at being in the Super Bowl? And if you think so, will it be under Ron Rivera's era? Well, again, like I said, I don't think... This is tough. Y'all really asking some tough questions today. I don't think we're going to be back in the Super Bowl under Ron Rivera or Cam Newton's era. I do think we'll make the playoffs under their era. You know what I mean? If Ron Rivera does return. But here's my position, man. Cam is a unique kind of player, even at this age. You know what I mean? If he comes back healthy, I honestly believe with the right coaching staff and the right OC, he still has something left in the tank. Now, he may be riding around on 3/4 of a tank, but that's still something left in it. You know what I mean? So, under Ron Rivera, I'm just not sold that, these guys really understand the dichotomy, the dynamic abilities of this guy. I think they're trying to narrow him down, you know what I mean? For so long, especially the last 3 years, they have marginalized his athleticism, his ability to make plays. And they're trying to put him into the box, drop back, change his mechanics. When I heard him changing his mechanics and all that shit, I said, yeah, this is not going to work out, you know what I mean? Allow him to be free. Cam is like a beautiful stallion in the wilderness. I mean, you can't contain that. And if you do, it's going to be sad. And that's what you're seeing. So, under Cam Newton and under Ron Rivera's regime, I don't see us making the Super Bowl again. But we will be back to the playoffs within the next 2 to 3 years. This next question comes from YouTube. Shout out to Cooker TGT. Are we cutting slide? Well, as of November 25th at 3:26 p.m., I heard they're working out kickers. Yeah, they're having a kicker trials, and I feel bad for him, man. Joey Slide, like I said, coming out of Virginia Tech, always has had a booming leg. Has struggled with accuracy dating back to his college years. I think he was like a 68.9, 68.2% accurate kicker, but he always had that leg. He won a hearse in preseason, especially when Gano went down. Whatever reason, I mean, it's just inexplicable, man. I mean, my heart goes out to the brother, but you got one job. You ain't got to make a read. You ain't got to make a tackle. You ain't got to look off a safety. All you got to do is make sure your shit is lined up and kick it through. So, I mean, it's a sad thing. No, all jokes aside, it's not funny, but yeah, I think they're gonna get rid of him, just like they got rid of Gordon. This next question comes from YouTube. Shout out to Justin Hollowbrook. He says, should we draft offensive line and defensive line in every round coming up this year? Somebody got the right idea, but all seriousness, no, listen. The first 2 rounds, we need to go D-line, O-line, and then probably that 3rd round, let's go O-line again, or D-line again, either one. And then from there, from 4 to 7, we should go ahead and draft for what we need. I think Eric Reed is starting to show a little, showing a little flakiness in his game. I think we might need another cornerback. I mean, Dante Jackson is good, but, again, kind of hard-headed out there just trying to use his speed on everything instead of his technique. But I think we can use one more solid cornerback, not Corn Elder, not any other guy. And I like Ross Cockrell, so I think we need to keep Cockrell. But we need a cornerback, we need another safety, and then we draft from there on out. Listen, we're not going to find a quarterback in this draft, so stop looking, all right? Either we're riding with Cam or we're riding with Kyle. So I don't think we need to be looking in the draft for that unless the free agency comes open and there's a big name out there that fits our system and, we can get him for a good price. That's the only reason why we need to get a quarterback at all. But if not, ride with Cam, ride with Kyle, and we don't need to draft offensive line or defensive line every draft this year. I mean, every round this year, but just the 1st, 2nd, probably 3rd round. Go D-line, O-line, D-line, or go D-line, O-line, O-line. So either one of those would be good. This next question is coming from YouTube. Shout out to Colored Hacks. This is a great question, by the way. What's the best use of the rest of the season? Whose job will be evaluated? Well, let me answer the second part of your question first. Everybody's job will be evaluated at the end of the season. And the best way to make the rest of the season, or the best way to, deal with it, I guess, is, listen, and make an evaluation process. You just answered your question. The best way to do to play out the rest of the season, everybody needs to be on notice. I mean, it's unacceptable. 2-3 years straight, we're sitting in this position right here, man. And listen, I mean, yes, Cam's our leader. Yes, Cam's our quarterback. But he can't carry the whole damn team. I think a lot of people got comfortable. That's what it is. From coaching staff to players, motherfuckers got comfortable. And it came up to bite them now. You know what I mean? So, listen, we need to see who got their heart on that D-line. We need to see who got their heart in that secondary. And listen, at this point, I'll shut down Kyle Allen because we know what we got in him. I said, well done, my good and faithful servant, Kyle Allen. Put Will Grier in. Put Will Grier in. Don't shut Kyle Allen down out of anything he's done wrong, but put Will Grier in. We need to see, is this another 3rd round pick that we can't fucking develop? Okay? Don't wait 2 or 3 years down the road and then say, well, Rashad Gordon, you didn't cut the T. I need to know whether he's worth it. Now, put him in. Let's see what we got in him. If he's not, cut his ass loose too. It's getting to the point now where this shit is becoming redundant. I'm literally can close my eyes every year and predict how this shit is going to go. Injured quarterback, indecisive coaching, shit falling apart at the end of the season. Everybody looking around like nobody knows what the fuck happened. Every year, that's what it is. So, yeah, it's time to show some tough love and make some tough cuts. And it's time to start exposing some people out there who get real comfortable. You know what I mean? It's time to make the tough decisions. So, to answer your question, the end of the season should be pretty much a job application for everybody on that team. This next question is coming from YouTube. Shout out to Rush. He said, is it time to rebuild? If so, it could take 3 to 5 years until we are even challenging for the playoff spot. This franchise is ready to win now. Is it time to rebuild? Well, I went over this question last night during my live stream. I honestly believe that we can probably get away with a partial rebuild, all right? We don't have to burn down the whole house to fix it up, man. Literally, we're probably like a defensive line, maybe 2 or 3 defensive linemen away, 2 or 3 offensive linemen away, and maybe one piece in that secondary. Maybe a good corner or maybe another good safety in that secondary, and we'll be just fine, you know what I mean? Listen, I'm ready to ride with Kyle Allen for another year, but I'm willing to ride with Cam if he's healthy for another year. So I'm not looking for the free agency to get a quarterback, or I'm not looking for him in the draft. I like what we got here on our roster. I think Kyle Allen really showed his big boy draws against Green Bay and New Orleans, as I said earlier. So I don't think, listen, we can get away with a partial rebuild. Couple defensive linemen, put Derrick Brown, put Raekwon Davis next to KK, and you're looking at tearing us up shit. The biggest flaw for the 2019 Carolina Panthers was when we changed over to the defensive scheme, they forgot to incorporate balance. Okay? Hurney and Rivera forgot to incorporate balance. They went all in on this pass rush shit, and guess what? It worked. But you forgot to stop the run. You forgot to bring in run personnel. Yeah. That's what happened. Then you relied on backup Vernon Butler and backup Kyle Love to come in and do starter job. Man, that's not going to work that way. If we're going to do this, go out here and get some studs that can rush the passer and stop run. Then you got Burns. Burns is looking so damn good once he gets fully healthy. I think we're going to be all right. We don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater just yet. Bring in some offensive linemen, surround Cam around here. And I think we can challenge for another 2 or 3 years before a total rebuild. You know what I mean? If not, hey, man, we might just have to scrap the whole thing. Next question is coming from YouTube. Shout out to Justin J. Justin J says, why did Brian Burns only see the field 22 out of 66 snaps? Inexcusable. Well, I really believe Brian Burns is still hurt. Okay, I know a lot of people said that when he first got that surgery, it was a minor surgery. There's no such thing as a minor surgery. Really, I think ever since he hurt his hand, listen, man, when you're celebrating Brian Burns, please don't kill yourself celebrating. Now, you know, we all down for a good time, but damn. But anyway, back to what I was saying. What happens is my man's not fully still healthy, you know what I mean? I think he's out there, and I think he's recovering, but you know there's a noticeable drop-off. And listen, I mean, if you can't produce, whether you're a superstar, whether you're an up-and-coming star, you can't be out there like that. You're too much of a liability. So, I mean, I can't come down on the coaching staff for that. But he was out there a couple times, and he did have a sack before they blew a penalty flag on him. So, Brian Burns, get healthy. That's one of the reasons why you're probably seeing a little bit of him. They're not going to come out and tell you that until later on down the road, you know what I mean, after the season. But I don't think he's fully healthy. That's the reason why they're limiting his snaps. This next question comes from YouTube. Shout out to Draymond Smith. He says, does Cam deserve a chance to show what he can do with a creative, offensive-minded coach? Yes. Yes, he does. I like Lincoln Riley. David Tepper, if you have to have any kind of a selling point for Cam Newton, let me give you the biggest one. If you put him around an offensive coordinator that can allow him to use his full scope of talent as far as running, passing, good play routes to allow offensive linemen and wide receivers and stuff like that to get open, wide receivers to get open, then you probably see Cam of 2015. All right? Because one of his biggest things at Auburn, guess what they did? They ran the spread. Yeah, option. They had an option. They had RPOs. I mean, listen, they had wide receiver motion. They had quick hitters. They had deep balls. Give him a chance. Stop with this dink and dunk shit right here. All right? This has really killed Cam's career. And like I said, they have marginalized a Maserati. You're telling a Maserati to act like a Honda. That's what you're doing, you know? But give him a chance, see what he can do with an innovative coach like Lincoln Riley, a guy who doesn't mind going out there doing an air raid, you know what I mean? And let's see what we can do. I guarantee you, if Cam starts coming in here dropping dimes on folks, they're going to back off that line of scrimmage and they're going to try to play him passing. And guess what? Then you're going to see if that foot is healthy because he's going to have opportunities to run. But we'll never know this when you're sitting here doing a swing left, swing right, check down here, what Cam really can do. He does deserve a chance to be able to show what he can do under an offensive-minded coach. This next question comes from YouTube. Shout out to Angel Pereira. He said, are we interested in Cap? Well, are we really interested in Colin Kaepernick? Listen, if we were, we probably would have signed him by now. At this point, if we brought in Kaepernick, that lets me know they're showing their hand right now. If they brought in Kaepernick, that means they don't believe in Will Grier. Because why would you bring in Cap if you really believed in Will Grier? So I don't think they will do it. But if they did do it, it would at least to see what they got in him. You know what I mean? Give him a vanilla playbook. See how much he has retained from what he has learned in the 49ers and last time he played in the NFL, looking off quarterbacks. Give him a shot like that. You know, it'll be more so like a tryout going into next season. Far as should he even be on the roster, but I seriously doubt it, man. Like I said, it's too much scrutiny and all the other shit. Politics involved, but Kaepernick, he's not going to be a Carolina Panther. This next question comes from YouTube. Shout out to Uncle Quan. Uncle Quan says, if you were the owner of the team, what would be the first thing you would change? You going to put me on blast like that? Well, if I was the owner of the team, the first thing I would change is I probably would have to get rid of the coaches first. This is it's been a real shit show, you know what I mean? I probably would clean house from the coaching staff, then the medical staff, and then, I would start evaluating the talent, Only person I probably would retain is, let me see. Probably I'll retain Perry Field. I like Perry Field, had us playing good in the first half of the season as far as the coaching staff. Maybe Scott Turner, you know what I mean? Well, for him as a quarterback's coach. I definitely would get rid of the head coach first. Let's just start there, okay? We need a forward-thinking coach. We need a forward-thinking offensive coordinator. What I seen was a team that's loaded with potential, loaded with talent, be marginalized. We're a team that plays like this, but we coach like this. So it sucks. I mean, you're kind of putting us in a box. We were never meant to be captivated. We were never meant to be like that. So first thing first, coaching staff, let's bring in some forward-thinking people, and let's see what we can do. And then, of course, touch up on that offensive line, touch up on that defensive line, evaluate our quarterback situation. I'll look at Cam, look at Kyle. I really like the progression that Kyle has made. Let's see what he can do in the offseason under number one reps, undertaking all that stuff. Let's see what he can do going through the whole preseason with number ones and all that good stuff. And then we'll also, like I said, at the same time, evaluate Cam. You know what I mean? See where Cam is. And then see what Cam mind. And if Cam wants to go, then I'll let him go. If Cam wants to hold out, then I want to try to, listen, I want to try to, make a bargain with him. Listen, we got too many other pieces we got to fill. So there's a lot to evaluate, but I'll start with the coaching staff. This next question comes from YouTube. Shout out to Jacina Davis. Jacina Davis says, should we draft Jalen Hurd? Well, honestly, I like Jalen Hurd coming out of the quarterback ranks. I don't know if he'll be a first-round pick. If we can get him like around the 4th, 5th round, I don't see why not. Be honest with you. Can I be honest with you? I kind of feel like he's gonna be the next Russell Wilson. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy to y'all, man, but I think Jalen Hurts gonna be the next brother. Composed kind of brother. He can make all the throws, you know what I mean? And he's very mobile. I think he'll fit in good with our system. He doesn't like to take off at the first drop of a dime. He'd rather hang in there and make plays, but he can use his legs to make play as well. I think he needs to be a little cultivated, a little developed more, a little polished more. But I like, his raw mechanics. I like his raw ability. So, yeah, I'm in favor for that move if we can get him at the right round. If we can get him in the 4th, 5th round, I'm cool with that. But, it shouldn't be no 1, 2, 3 second round draft pick or anything like that. But I'm with that move. This next question comes from YouTube. Shout out to Martell Green. Martell Green says, do you think if we have another mediocre year, that Christian McCaffrey's dad will put a bug in his ear about playing for a team that can actually contend for a Super Bowl? Well, I'll tell you this right here. Listen, it's going to come a point in time where, an elite weapon, an elite threat, probably the greatest running back of all time, eventually you're going to start to say, what's really going on here? Why can't we win? I'm doing my job, but where's everybody? You're going to start looking around. But I don't think we've reached that point yet. Even if we do have another mediocre year, I don't think we reached that point yet. But, like I said, the running back shelf life in the NFL isn't long. So I definitely believe if his goal is to win a championship and we're not producing, I think at some point he's going to be real with the organization and probably demand a trade or who knows how that's going to plan out. But I don't think we're nowhere near that point just yet, man. Christian McCaffrey is an awesome guy, hell of a player. And we can't allow that to happen. Before we allow that to happen, we'll trade the whole team before we allow that to happen. And the very last question comes from Caleb Dixon from YouTube. What should we do with all these guys that are on these one-year deals like Gerald McCoy? Great question. Again, man, this is tough, man. I think we can let Gerald McCoy go. Great guy. We just got to get younger, you know what I mean? I mean, he wasn't quite what I thought he was going to be, but he wasn't bad either, you know what I mean? He was admirable, man. It was, you know what I mean? He held his own, but we definitely got to get younger. We definitely got to bring in guys that can not only be pass rushers, but be run stuffers as well. I think McCoy could be gone. I like Bruce Irvin. I think we need to keep Bruce Irvin. I think he does a good job developing younger guys like Christian Miller, Brian Burns. They can learn a lot from him, you know what I mean? Trey Boston, I think we keep him as well. Trey Boston has some flashes, you know what I mean? So I think we hold on to him as well. I think we gotta let go Darrell Williams, you know what I mean? Just get him the fuck out of here. He proved that he wasn't worth toilet paper with a money sign on it. We just got to get rid of him. But all in all, man, there's some pieces that we can work with, but then there's some pieces that I think, you know, they did the best they can. They just don't have the same value as we thought they were. I'm your host, everyone. They got the awesome on the Big Cat. My cool guy, put the paws up. Rock with the Big Cat. Thank you all for answering give me the questions today. If I didn't answer your question, don't get mad at me. We will be doing this shortly again, all right, towards the end of the season. We'll do another one. So shout out to you guys for answering the questions. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you would like to ask me a question now, drop it in the comments section. I'll be glad to answer. Make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at KeepPounding_TV. Facebook, KeepPounding_TV or El Grande Gato. Twitter, KeepPounding_TV. Tune into the podcast on Google FM, Anchor FM, and I think Apple Store as well. I'm here, man. Let's get up out here. Let the church say, down. Don't forget to subscribe to the Carolina Panthers custom helmet giveaway video in the playlist. Once we hit 5,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away free a $300 retail value Marvel's Avenger Carolina Panthers helmet. Keep pounding.